What's going on, my lovelies? It's Kyle here. So, I want to talk about accountability today. And the fact that the quicker you take accountability for some harm that you did to another person, something wrong you did in a situation, the quicker you get to move on from it. And this is very important. We all fuck up, we all mess up. And in order to fully move on and fully to leave what we did in the past, we need to take full responsibility or full accountability for our actions. Tell the people that need to hear, that should hear, that deserve to hear. Air out that dirty laundry, own it, take responsibility, hold yourself accountable, accept the consequences, whatever they may be, and then you can move on and you can fully leave that in the past and fully let it go and move forward with your life. Now, this is a very important point to bring up because I know myself in the past, and I know many people have a tendency to procrastinate on taking accountability, to only take partial accountability on a certain thing that they did or a certain situation. And here's the thing. If we don't take accountability, guess what? That eats you alive. Guess what? That affects your mental state and your health. And sometimes to a very severe degree, it can build up and build up and build up and build up and build up until you feel like you're going to snap. So in many of these cases, we feel as if we have to take accountability. We feel as if we have to say something regardless, or it eventually gets found out, or that guilt eats away at us day after day after day if we don't own up to it, if we don't take accountability. But this is the beautiful thing about taking accountability for your wrongdoings and accepting the consequences in full. When you do this, when you accept the accountability and you accept the consequences, you get to fully move on and you get to completely leave it in the past. But you first must take accountability and you first must accept the consequences of your behavior and your actions, whatever they may be. Because no matter what your consequences are, it's going to be okay. You will get through it. And it will get better. Especially if this thing is eating away at you. And perhaps been eating away at you for a very long time. And you've wanted to tell this person, or you've wanted to own up to this for a long time. Or you know you should, at least. If not for yourself, but for the other person in which you harmed. Or the lie that you said. Whatever it may be. The quicker you do this and the more fully you take that accountability and accept the responsibility for your actions, accept those consequences that come with what you did, the quicker you get to let it all go. The quicker it won't haunt you. It won't haunt you anymore, or nearly not as much. And even if it does, you can let it go, and there's no reason to be holding on to it anymore. Because you said what you had to say, you told who you needed to tell, you owned up to it, and now you can let it be. And I know and I see a lot of people procrastinating, taking accountability. They're afraid of the consequences. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid. And I totally get it. I've been there many times. But in all of these situations, think about how that guilt adds up, not only after a week, a month, a year, or years. See, if you experience some suffering from holding on to this, from feeling guilty, from trying to cover your tracks, from playing mental gymnastics so it doesn't come out, that suffering and that discomfort that you go through It could have been a little bit if you just owned up to it, held yourself accountable, and accepted the consequences right away. But likely, if you procrastinate, if you drag your feet, and you don't hold yourself fully accountable, only partially accountable in this situation, not only does it bit by bit by bit by bit add up over time because this is weighing heavily on you, because you aren't telling, because you are covering your tracks, because you are telling white lies or purposefully withholding the truth from people. That's a lot of suffering. That's a lot of weight to bear, especially if you extend it over days, weeks, months, and years. Whereas if you just took accountability right then, fully, entirely, came clean, aired out that dirty laundry, guess what? It may suck. It might be painful, just like ripping off a Band-Aid. But then you're done. You get to move forward. You get to move on. No matter where that leaves you in life, it's going to be okay. You can always come back from it. You can always rebuild yourself, and you can always become a healthier, better version of yourself. Always. So for those of you out there, you might have been procrastinating on taking some accountability. Or perhaps there's something that happened a really long time ago that's still weighing heavily on you, that's still in the back of your mind, that you still feel guilty for. The only way to completely put this situation and this burden to rest is by holding yourself fully, truly accountable. And then you get to let it go forever. It might take a little bit of time for you to offload that guilt and offload whatever is residually pent up and built up in your system. But in the long term, this is what's best for you. And it's also what's best for those that you wronged, that you harmed, that you lied to, whatever the case may be. The quicker you hold yourself accountable, the quicker you get to move on. I'll leave it there. Hope you're having a lovely day wherever you're at in the world. And until next time.